Hey guys, and welcome to today's video. So today's video is a fun one. Today's video was going to be my unique perfume bottles in my collection, but that's going to be part 2. I kind of wanted to do tacky perfume bottles in my collection and why I love them. And so this is going to be a little bit more of a positive twist, because when people talk about tacky stuff, they usually talk about it in a negative light, but I love tacky perfume bottles. So to start off, I wanted to show you guys this perfume dog chew toy that my sister got, both pups. Isn't this just the cutest thing ever? So just so you guys know, this is going to be a more relaxed, fun video, and I'm going to let you guys know the reason why I love these fragrances. But first, fun fact, tacky never used to be a negative word to me, because the first time I ever heard the word tacky was somebody describing something that I actually liked. So I was young and didn't really understand what the word meant, but because they were describing something that I liked and calling it tacky, I thought it was something good. And how I found out that the word tacky is not actually that it's good. And for my people who first language isn't English, let's go ahead and look up the word tacky. So not having or exhibiting good taste, such as marked by cheap showiness, gaudy, marked by lack of style. So we were going back to school. I can't remember what grade it was, but I was young, but not that young. And I was looking at these shoes. They were popular at the time, very, very early 90s. But this specific one had like this flower print in the front of them. And I remember I kept telling my mom, "Mom, I really want these shoes. They're so tacky." And my sister, who's younger than I am, she's like, "I don't think you're using that word correctly." And I'm like, "What do you mean? It's tacky. I like it." She's like, "No, tacky's not. It doesn't mean you like something. It's not good when you like something and you call it tacky." So we're just gonna start right there. These bottles, they are tacky. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna sit here and justify and say these bottles are works of art. They're not. They're tacky. Some of them I don't, and I'll tell you which ones I don't. And just like you can find them tacky and dislike them, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that, I actually really like these bottles. So I'm going to give you the reason why and show you what Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube considers tacky. So we're going to start with Viva La Juicy. I get it. It's gaudy. I prefer to use that. Yes, it's a little over the top, but I started wearing Viva La Juicy when I was 26, 27, around that age. So 14 years ago to the club. And none of us, when this came out, thought that it was tacky. We also didn't find the velour jumpsuits that we wore with Juicy on the ass, which I never owned a pair, thank God, but I didn't find those tacky. But that just goes to show you when this came out. But this is considered tacky. And now, yeah, I look at it and it does seem a little, you know, juvenile and young. But this is an old fragrance. So again, this is Viva La Juicy by Juicy Couture. All right, next. You guys already know. Like, this is Carolina Herrera's Good Girl. Yes, this, I don't find this one tacky, but I get it. I get why someone wouldn't want this on their vanity. I used to wear 5-inch heels. I was that girl. Now I'm all about comfort. But I just find this shoe super sexy. And I do kind of style my room in a way where certain fragrances, especially like these bottles, have their place. And then I put my nice, simple niche bottles in one cube. But I like fragrance, I like a little bit of everything. And I just enjoy these fun, kind of kitschy, gaudy bottles. So I do prefer the way the larger one sprays once I got used to it, because in the beginning I thought I was going to break the heel. But I do like the way the smaller bottle looks on my stand. I think it's cuter. But I really do enjoy this. I mean, this is definitely not a 5-inch heel. They definitely made this to look over exaggerated, kind of cartoony, kind of Jessica Rabbit kind of heels. But I like the tacky heel. Then next, we're gonna go into Mugler. I actually don't find any of the Mugler's tacky, only because the Star came out years ago. The 90s, that was kind of a big kind of decade with big hair, big shoulder pads. But I know a lot of people do not like a lot of the bottles. But I should have picked up the flat ones, because that's mainly what people not only found tacky but also annoyed them, was the ones where the Star laid flat. And I love it. I used to be that, and I've mentioned this if you guys have seen videos in the past, I do have a tramp stamp of the sun, the moon, and the stars. I was that kind of astrological girl in high school, and I had my room with the stars and the whole 9 yards. So this is kind of nostalgic for me, and this kind of speaks to my astrological side. So I actually really like the stars. I do prefer, I even like the flat ones. I love when it comes with the stand. I wish that L'Oreal would make the stand. I mean, listen to the people, they would buy it. I actually prefer those over this standing star. I like that it has a pretty kind of, I like the stand, I do. And then the Alien bottles, I could take or leave them, but I get the whole, they look kind of alien-like. Womanity, that's another bottle that people say is kind of tacky. That was divided. Some people like it. I like it. It's kind of, I don't know, like Red Sonja gives me kind of medieval times vibes. So that's another bottle. And then Aura, I've heard in like fragrance groups, so we're gonna throw that in there. Decided by Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and fragrance groups, people say that the whole Mugler bottles are tacky, but I love them. I don't know what it is. They all speak to me. Like the Aura bottle reminds me of two things. It reminds me of Romancing the Stone, or part 2, where they're looking for that emerald stone. And then it reminds me of Monster Squad, when the girl's holding that green emerald stone. It's my creative, over imaginative Pisces side that likes the corny, tacky bottles. So again, I would say the whole Mugler perfume bottles are bottles that a lot of people have deemed tacky. Okay, next we have, you knew this was gonna be in here. We have Marc Jacobs Decadence. I feel like I need to have a drink, like a sip and sniff, but it's a little early, so I'm not gonna do it. But if I seem that way, it's because this makes me smile. These tacky bottles, they make me giddy. So you knew this was gonna be here, and I had to pick the one with the tassel because we just needed to get real tacky with it. Yes, this is super tacky, but I love it. It's a purse, guys. It's a purse. So yeah, it's annoying. It is annoying. The scent is gorgeous, but it's just, this is the girly side of me. I was a tomboy pretty much all the way through senior year, and I mean, when I went back to my 10-year reunion 10 years ago, I definitely shocked people by how girly I got. And I don't know, maybe that's what it is. Maybe I just spent my childhood and teenage years being super tomboy, that then I just got really into girly things. But I just find this to be adorable. Now, I do wish I had the smaller one, because I always find the smaller bottles to be super cute, but I don't know, I think this is cute. And I have this one and also Decadent. Okay, next we're gonna go over the Jean Paul Gaultier bottles. We have Scandal with the legs and La Belle. This isn't the first one. I mean, they have the classic, so you know, with the shape of the lady, and then La Male, the guy version. I just think this is super sexy and pretty, and I think this is fun, and again, sexy, kind of like the fragrances. I think the bottles really embody what you're getting. You're getting fun, playful, sexy, kind of let your hair down fragrances. I do group these together, like these kind of bottles, and I feel like usually when people come over, they find it pleasing to the eye. But I can see if you have like a lot of niche, and then these are just kind of popping around. I find this one to be real sexy, actually, but I could see how this might be a little tacky. All right, the next we have Perfect by Marc Jacobs. And I actually find these bottles super cute. These little trinkets remind me of charm bracelets. And I used to really be into charm bracelets. I do have one charm bracelet that just means so much to me. It has very memorable charms on them. I have a charm from when I graduated, one that my mom gave me. I have like a best friend charm on there. I have the last piece of jewelry that I got from my uncle who passed away. So I just love charm bracelets, and when I saw this, it kind of reminded me a little bit of like the trinkets, and just, I don't know, I found it super cute. I will say that I find the daisy line to be just a little more tacky than this. Some of these pieces kind of remind me of stuff. The banana kind of reminds me of Gwen Stefani, It's Bananas. The domino kind of reminds me of my grandfather and my dad with their dominoes. I love the note of cherry, my sister and her cats. So I think it's adorable. So again, that's Perfect by Marc Jacobs. All right, this next one, I actually didn't like this one. And for the longest time, I would not pick up this fragrance because I did find this to be tacky. But then once I got it, I'm like, oh, it's actually cuter in person. But that is Yes I Am by Cacheral. I did not like this bottle at all. I think it was this base. Like I like the idea of a lipstick bottle. But I mean, come on, what lipstick bottle looks like this? I think if it was sleeker, I would have liked it, but it's not that bad in person. It's a nice cheapie. I got the 30 ml. I will say that I'm okay with 30 ml. I think anything bigger, maybe the 50 ml, but I don't like that 100 ml bottle. But this is one that people definitely, I mean, me included. Again, in person, it's not as bad. But again, that is Yes I Am by Cacheral. All right, this next one I would say is divided. This one, a lot of people love, but a lot of people hate. I've seen it divided. I don't find this one tacky at all. I'm actually happy with the 2 new releases because I feel like those even represent this bottle more. But that is the Cupcakes from House of Sillage. And I'll show you my collection of cupcakes. But I personally really love these bottles. They're even more beautiful in person. They are a little hard to open. You gotta kind of twist it and then pick it up. But I just think they're super cute with the crystals. I just think they're beautiful bottles. But recently they came out with 2 new bottles that to me are just even more perfect. But this is one that I would say is more divided. Like these other ones I hear more people say are tacky. This one, people go back and forth. And again, that is House of Sillage. So next we have Ariana Grande's Cloud and REM, Thank You Next. They're all kind of in this bottle. And then her new God Is a Woman, that's another weird bottle. And then I would say her first line, I don't really hear that one, like people say it's tacky, whereas more people say it's very juvenile. So I didn't want to include those, but I mean, if you think they're tacky, okay. I like those too with the little puff. I think they're super adorable. But more specifically, Cloud. Now, this line is definitely targeted towards a younger demographic. I will say that once she started getting into Cloud, her scents did grow up a little bit more. But if you guys have seen from the beginning when I first reviewed Cloud, you know that this reminds me of Care Bears. This, the newer one, I've always said that this bottle just is nostalgic to me. It reminds me of Care Bears, but that's the reason why I like that one. It's nostalgic to me. I don't know. There's a side of me that just, while I love niche bottles. Like I love, again, I'm gonna go over that next. I love simple bottles, elegant bottles, but I like a little bit of everything. So these are my tacky bottles. All right, and then my newest, I think this is my newest tacky edition is Viktor and Rolf Good Fortune. Now, when this came out, in the comments everywhere, it was divided. People loved it and people didn't like it. This speaks to the, I don't want to say witchy, I'm not witchy, but kind of that, I don't know what it is. This just speaks to my creative kind of artsy side. I love playing dress up. If you guys have ever visited my Instagram page around Halloween, I love to do looks. I'll pair them with a fragrance. I did do a Fortune look. I didn't have this fragrance, but I had Angel at the time, so that's the scent that I had paired it up with. I had done the look before I got into pairing up fragrances, but when I was doing kind of a fragrance and Halloween look series, those are the two that I picked an old look that I did and I paired it up with a fragrance. Even when I reviewed this fragrance, I dressed up. Now I do wish that, I wish they would have at least done it like in some kind of faux rock material, like I don't know, something a little less plastic. This is expensive. I mean, can we get a decent top? But I did like the idea of the amethyst top and the kind of crystal ball. This is tacky, but I love it. This speaks to my crystal rock side. So if you guys don't know, little fun fact, I used to collect rocks when I was growing up, and I did get like an amethyst. Like when I went to the museum, you could buy like this little rock kit, and one of my favorite rocks was this little, I'm sure I still have it in some box, but there was a piece of amethyst that was like a beloved rock of mine. This was when I was younger. I used to collect rocks, and this speaks to the child in me. A lot of these do, and I don't know, I'm okay with that. So those are my tacky bottles in my collection. What are some bottles that, again, other people have deemed kind of tacky, but you love them? But that will do it for today's video. I hope you liked it. If you did, please give it a thumbs up, and I will catch you guys in my next video. Bye guys.